Very special guest joining us. Jennifer Wilson is here, and she is the author of a book called Water. And if you've spent any time in central Iowa, or actually in Iowa in general, you know what's going on with water.
Well, and not only that, but the nation. We're talking Flint, Michigan. You're reading the headlines, you're watching the news. Water is a hot topic right now.
So welcome to the show. Thank you so much. And let's start off by saying the publisher of your book, everybody knows who the publisher is here in Des Moines. Tell everybody who that is.
This is a publishing partnership with Raygun, and you can kind of tell from the cover too, it even kind of has the branding and the look of Raygun, and the front and back cover matter is very Raygun style, I guess. And it's even illustrated for being fiction. That's pretty fun too.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because you've published before, and you've gone the normal route of going through New York publishing, but you said that takes too long sometimes when you're trying to develop a story, and this is something that's hot now, so you wanted to get the story out right now.
That's right. I really feel like this issue is a defining one for the state of Iowa, and I wanted it to happen fast. I saw the headlines developing, and I sort of followed along as news reporters were getting the word out, and really crafted a character who would get around the whole state and give a 360-degree view of this issue from, I sat around the tables with farmers, with reporters, with people who worked along the Mississippi River and within all of these water districts, and really got a good look at what's happening here in the state from a human angle.
Now, this is a fictional story.
That's right.
But you're basing it, obviously, as you just said, by talking to people here locally that are dealing with water issues. So it's kind of based on true realities of what's happening here in the state, but in a fictional story.
That's right. I think sometimes we get a little scared away from talking about big topics that can be more science-oriented. But this topic really affects all of us. I mean, everyone here has had a drink of water today, and you know that panic you feel when you turn on the tap and nothing comes out. I wanted to make, I'm a former school teacher, and so my intent was to make what can be kind of a complicated topic, the agricultural practices in the state, and how water comes to your house, into something that was a little bit more understandable and sort of make it a human story.
Okay, so what's the story about?
Okay, so we have a journalist, a woman named Freya Folsom, who is a longtime reporter in the state of Iowa, in the city of Des Moines in particular. She's about to get laid off from her job, but her editor tells her, if you knock this last story out of the park, we might be able to save what you're doing here. She's immediately, I kind of put her in the reader's reaction shoes, like says, environmental stories are really boring, and also she is a complicated relationship with a few of the players that he assigns her to talk to, one of whom is the waterworks director in the city, who is she's involved with, and there's also a man who is illegally drilling for water within the city of Des Moines, which is illegal, and she has to talk to him too, and he also happens to be hot.
Someone she gets involved with, maybe?
Maybe.
So what you're saying is it's a light, fun read, but it has a lot of backbone with some serious issues we're dealing with in our state.
That's right. I sort of wanted to, every time I delivered a science lesson, I delivered a little bit of juice.
How long did it take you to put the book together?
You know what, Freya Folsom was a character that really showed up to me. I mean, my whole career has been spent with strong women journalists, and I knew her from the time she entered my imagination. It was really less than a year between talking to Mike Draper with an outline and discussing the topic, and him saying, you know what, let's do this. And, probably 8-9 months.
What made you go to him to talk about this? Because it's a really neat angle you have on this.
I knew that I wanted to talk with somebody who would get what I was doing. Sometimes Iowans are a little bit reticent about telling what their opinions are about things, or really talking about touchy topics. But Mike has never been that way. And I've been really fascinated with how the publishing industry, writers are really taking more control of how their books come out and when their books come out. And Mike and I really worked lockstep from the start with this project, and it's been dynamic and so much more fun than a more traditional process.
Even though this is a fictional piece, have you heard anything from, say, Waterworks or farming organizations that are tied up in a lawsuit right now?
Everyone is sort of closely following me on Twitter and on my Facebook authors page, I think, seeing what's she going to say. But really, this is a book that's fair, and it's I think the issue is so not political at all. I think we're missing the point when it becomes a political issue. It's a very human issue, and so I think everyone is sort of waiting for it to be tough on someone, but really I just want people to understand and then take it from there. I mean, this is important for Iowa. I think it's the defining issue for the state, and sometimes it feels to me as I follow along, it's a battle for the soul of the state. Are we going to move forward and come up with great ideas, or are we going to argue about staying in the past?
And you said it's an easy read, too.
It is easy. I've had so many people who texted me or wrote letters to my website to say, you know, I stayed in bed for 2 days, or I skipped work so I could finish the story. And it was a very fast read, which is kind of a win for an author who wanted to get people through a tricky topic in a quick pace.
Well, so you're on a book tour right now, and people have an opportunity to meet you and grab a copy of the book tonight. Beaverdale Books, who's also a wonderful place of supporting local authors, at 6:30 tonight, if you'd like to pick up Water. And you're going to kind of do a talk back as well.
Yeah, I'd love to see people there. I'd love to make it a discussion. I don't really like to sort of impart the knowledge. I'll be doing some readings from the book to give people an overview, but I really want this to be a discussion about how this came together, because it was such a fun process.
Neat idea. Great idea. Thank you so much.
Where can people pick up the book besides Beaverdale Books?
You can go to Raygun, any of their locations.
Okay.
You can also go to raygunsite.com. You can go to my website, jennifer-wilson.com, and find out ways to contact me or contact Mike and take a look at the book or my past book.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.